Everyone in the dealership laughed the moment they saw him walk in. They couldn't believe a man like him would even dream of buying a luxury car. But the second he opened a worn envelope full of cash, every smirk disappeared, and what he was about to do would touch anyone's heart. Everyone in the dealership laughed the moment they saw him walk in. They couldn't believe a man like him would even dream of buying a luxury car. But the second he opened a worn envelope full of cash, every smirk disappeared, and what he was about to do would touch anyone's heart. Nathan Cooper didn't fit in here. Tired clothes, scuffed shoes, and calloused hands. His hair was messy from hours of hard work, and his eyes carried the weight of years spent struggling to make ends meet. Yet he walked through the gleaming dealership with a single purpose: to keep a promise. 2 years ago, on the last Christmas before his wife Rachel passed away, Nathan had made a vow. Their daughter, Sophie, had watched older kids drive away in shiny cars, silently wishing for the freedom to travel to school, work, and her art classes. Rachel had whispered to Nathan, "Promise me, Nathan, that Sophie will have her dream one day," and he had promised. Life had been anything but easy since then. Nathan took every odd job he could, fixing roofs, painting fences, delivering furniture, even repairing cars in his spare time. He worked long nights and skipped small comforts for himself, carefully placing every extra dollar into a small leather envelope hidden under a loose floorboard in his tiny apartment. Sophie never complained. She was thoughtful, patient, and grateful for everything her father gave her. She worked part-time at a local bakery to save a little on her own, but never asked for expensive gifts. She only dreamed quietly, never daring to mention the cars she admired in passing. But Nathan remembered his promise, and Christmas was approaching fast. That is what brought him to Silverline Motors, the most intimidating showroom he had ever entered. The moment Nathan stepped in, whispers started. Some staff stared openly, others smirked. A young salesman named Derek nudged his colleague. "Look at him," Derek whispered. "Think he can actually buy anything here?" His friend laughed. "Maybe Hess here to ask for directions to the bathroom." Nathan ignored them. He walked slowly past rows of sleek sedans and SUVs until he spotted it, a white compact SUV. Reliable, practical, safe. He remembered Sophie pausing to admire a similar car months ago. It would be perfect for her art classes and part-time job, for her small adventures. A sharply dressed woman with a navy blazer approached. Her name tag read, Vanessa Hart. She smiled professionally, but Nathan could sense the condescension behind it. "Sir," she said, "these cars are on the higher end. Perhaps our pre-owned lot would be more suitable." Nathan shook his head. "No, I want that one," he said, pointing to the white SUV. "It's for my daughter." Vanessa hesitated. "Of course, sir, we can go over financing options." "No financing," Nathan interrupted. "I'll pay in cash." The laughter behind him grew louder. In cash for that car? He must be joking. Nathan didn't flinch. He reached into his worn jacket and pulled out the old leather envelope. Its edges were frayed, the stitches barely holding. Inside were neatly stacked bills, a careful record of his savings, and receipts from his overtime shifts. He placed the envelope on Vanessa's desk. Vanessa opened it cautiously. Her eyes widened. She had expected a small down payment, maybe a few $100s, but this was everything Nathan had saved for 2 years. The laughter stopped. Derek's smirk vanished. The whole room went silent. "Sir," Vanessa whispered, "this is the full amount." Nathan nodded. "I want this delivered today." With a bow, "It's a Christmas gift for Sophie." The dealership staff, who had once mocked him, now looked at Nathan with astonishment and respect. But he didn't care. He only cared about Sophie. That evening, Nathan parked the SUV in front of their small home and tied a big red bow across the hood. Inside, Sophie was finishing decorating a tiny Christmas tree with handmade ornaments. Nathan gently called her outside. "Sophie, come look." Sophie stepped onto the porch, and her breath caught. There it was, the white SUV gleaming under the porch light, the red bow shining like a star. "Dad, no, you didn't." Her voice trembled, tears forming in her eyes. Nathan smiled softly. "Merry Christmas, sweetheart." Sophie stepped closer, her hands brushing the car, almost afraid it was a dream. "Dad, how did you— we can't—" Nathan's voice caught. "I promised your mother, I promised you, and I wasn't going to break that promise." Sophie hugged him tightly, sobbing. "You didn't have to give so much. You worked so hard." Nathan whispered in her ear, "I didn't give too much. I gave my love, and you deserve it all." She ran to the driver's seat and touched the steering wheel as if it were treasure. "It's perfect. Thank you, Dad." Nathan watched her, tears in his own eyes. For the first time since Rachel passed, he felt peace. Her happiness was worth every sacrifice, every long hour, every struggle. Later that night, after Sophie fell asleep clutching the car keys, Nathan stepped outside again. The SUV glimmered in the porch light, and the cold winter air was quiet around him. He didn't care about the dealership staff or their laughter. He didn't care about judgment. Because he knew something they never could. Real wealth isn't about money, it's about what you give from your heart. And on that Christmas Eve, Nathan Cooper, a humble man with a worn leather envelope, understood the true meaning of love, sacrifice, and family.